All right. So we've spent this month doing the hard self-honoring work, and for our finale, we're talking about one of the most powerful ways to do that, reclaiming your body and your desire on your own terms. For me, I'm calling this Thot-etry. Let's talk about it. I'm Sable Mensa, and welcome to week 4 of the Holiday Self-Honoring Challenge, proudly supported by, gifted by FreeFrom, and the Network Lorette. I want to set some context here and talk a little bit about my history, the history of my the history of, I guess, my relationships with, I guess, relationships and also sex a little bit. So, first and foremost, I'm gay. I'm a lesbian, I'm queer, and I'm also femme. And so, what that means is, or what's that's meant for me in my life journey is I've always sort of felt a little bit invisible as a queer person. I've felt invisible to like queer community and it's just been a little bit harder and has required a little bit more intentionality to connect with and find queer people and community because, I'm femme presenta stuff. And I know when people look at me, they assume that I'm straight. And so that's important because as it comes to relationships, there was a point in my life where, being in relationship validated my queerness because it wasn't invisible anymore. If you like see me holding hands or making out with a woman, like I guess she's gay. So that is significant because within the context of abuse, there was a lot of power in that. That created I mean, I guess power for my ex-wife, right? I my queer in the sense that being in a relationship is what validated my queerness. And that's just like a lot of power to have that the state of your relationship to somebody validates some aspect of your identity. And so that's just one thing that kind of sets the stage for me. Then the other aspect is um that power that my ex-wife had also came I guess was kind of used or weaponized to sort of like facilitate like isolation from community. She became my only connection to queer community, because she is also a queer woman. And part of the reason why she was able to be my only connection to queer community and other queer women is because she's sort of like, how do I say this? I don't know if it was jealousy, but I guess it's hard to read it as jealousy. I know that's what it is. It's hard to read it as, but it really feels like phantom interest. And that's my struggle because like the jealousy was based off of not reality, right? Like she really used phantom interest, like, and I say like imagined interest in me by other queer people to problematize my connections with them. And it kind of got to a point where it just became easier and safer to not even attempt to like connect with and create friendships with other queer people because I was just trying to avoid the accusation, to be honest. And so that's the next like so the first it's like validating my identity is validated through this relationship, and then it's like in order to avoid conflict, I had to avoid other queer people. And then the next layer is this. I will say when you're living with the constant threat of violence, which I didn't recognize it like that at the time. It probably felt like eggshells or it just felt like I would tell myself I'm just trying to avoid bad nights. Uh, that colors every aspect of decision making, including the choice to, have sex. And so I just, knowing that I lived with that constant threat made me, oof, it's kind of like, ooh, it's a little sticky to say and like to share. So I'm like, ooh, maybe there's some shame there. I'll do my little exploration later. But like, you know, if you're living with the constant threat of violence, it's not giving enthusiastic consent. And I know that that's not typically how people think about consent and not consent when it comes to sex, but not but, and, living with the threat of violence is a game changer. And so I I just know like that there like when I think about what that looked like, what sex was like within the context of that relationship, I just really wonder, you know, how much of it, what it would have looked like, how it would have been different if I just didn't have that threat of violence. And so it's just not giving the combination of all of those things is meant that the stakes were very high all the time and constantly loaded as it related to anything, as it related to my queerness and sex, and then connecting with other queer people. Just constantly loaded stakes, right? So there, bam, there's the context. Ah! Okay. So there's the context. And so now I'm in the present. I am safe. I am free. And I know that context. And now I'm thinking, okay, like I want a new relationship I want a new relationship with my body, with desire, with sex that's on my own terms. And not only do I know that I want this, but I also don't have the time, energy, space, or desire to hold emotions or care for another human being. Like, I just don't, I can't even imagine the idea of a relationship with another person right now is like, I am trying to have this relationship with myself. And I feel like I don't have time for so many things that I want to do. And not only that, I really like me and I'm like falling in love with it's been fallen. Like I love me. I love spending time with me. I love the things I get to do for me. And at this stage in my healing journey, I'm still feeling kind of selfish, right? Like I don't necessarily want to share all that with anybody right now. And I don't want to hold all that with anybody right now, which by definition is like what a relationship is. I would hope. One could hope. Like that level of reciprocity of holding, right? And I recognize I don't have the capacity for it. I don't have the desire for it. And I don't think, I know that's okay. Whatever it is where I'm at. And I fully accept that. And so I just, I want to have the space to be able to explore in a way that's led by my desire and that's not led or driven or influenced by approval, like seeking approval or needing it, or the threat of loss or violence or shame. Like that's huge. I'm an adult woman and I don't know these things outside of the context of needing approval, avoiding shame or loss or violence. And I just think that being able to relate to this really crucial aspect of my being without those things could be really, one, I deserve that. And two, I think it's going to surprise me what that is like. And three, I owe that to myself. Um, Henceforth, Thot-etry. It's, I like to, it's exploration led by desire and not approval or shame. And for me, it is a political act, it is a healing act, and it's a part of my path to safety. It's It's a political act of healing because, as a woman and someone who has been conditioned as a woman in this world, you know, women, we're not supposed to like want or desire things because that gets in the way of other people trying to extract from us. Like, really, like, desire is a woman's desire, and I will say generally, individuals' desire is incompatible with um systems that benefit from just taking. And it's incompatible with organizations or individuals that benefit from just taking. Like desire is a barrier for them because it's so much easier to take when someone doesn't want something for themselves or is not doesn't want, is not connected to how the thing you're trying to extract from them could benefit themselves and serve themselves. It's just so much easier to take from us, you know? It's a path of safety because, leaning into desire is a way for me to trust myself. And it's also, it's honestly kind of connected to like my grounded spirituality and like sense of purpose. In the sense that if I truly listen to and lean into my desire, I know that I am safe. I know that I'm protected. I know that trusting my desire is leading me towards what I'm meant for. Even there can be fear around it. There can be, complicated things like doubts. I could desire things that parts of me doesn't even know or believe is even possible for myself. But the desire is there, and that desire, once I am aware of it and I'm tapped into it, I can't ignore it. I can't unknow this part of me. I have to honor that exists for me because I can't live with, I can't sit with just ignoring this. And I think that's the beautiful thing about desire. And it's a part of safety for me because, you know, it's in order to like experience and feel desire and feel connected to it, so many other things have to be true, right? Like I'm not, feeling desire for a variety of things, like when I'm in like a high stakes, dangerous situation, right? And so it's also important, I guess it's also a part of safety because noticing my desire and the absence of it is vital data for me to keep myself safe in this world and create the life that I want. And so I really think that, I know I talked about desire generally, but within the realm of thotetry, I think that's what desire can do for me. And, I owe it myself to find out. So I'm about to be out here finding that out for myself. Like I just, I deserve to know these things on my terms. And it's exciting and terrifying. Trust and believe your girl's having many, many freakouts all the time. But the many freakouts are kind of, they're good. It's the parts of me, my many freakouts when it comes to connecting to my desire are about the parts of me that never thought it was possible. And they're freaking out like, what? Oh my God, is this for real? Da, da, da. Are you sure? Da, da, da. Like this is bad. And I sit with those parts too. And I also just I want to say one more thing about desire. Leaning into your desire in any realm, whether it relates to your body or relationship to sex or what you want for yourself in your career or your life or your family, it is the antithesis of all the shoulds. All the shoulds. It's the antithesis of all the expectations for the holidays. It's the antithesis of all the survivor things, right? Leaning into that. And because of that, leaning into my own desire and honoring it and following it is actually the perfect holiday gift to myself. And so it's just beautiful. I deserve that. And I'm happy to give myself that gift of leaning into my desire when I have created, when I've built the inner resources and created the inner world and the safety to know that it's okay for me to reach for my desire and the things that I think that I'll lose by leaning into my desire instead of like performing for other people, leaning into their obligations, like those things aren't for me anyway. There's just something so juicy about tapping into this when I fundamentally know that. And I hope I wish that for you as well. I really, really do. Because you know what? You deserve it. We all do. Mhm. So we just talked about how to honor your internal safety. But as survivors, we know that true healing requires an ecosystem of safety. That is why this series isn't just me talking to the camera and talking about all the things and enjoying our kiki. It's a community effort. Now, for economic safety, we are partnering with Gifted by FreeFrom, a survivor-owned business building wealth. Can I get an amen? Hallelujah. They are sponsoring our giveaway. For crisis and community safety, especially for my LGBTQ plus poly and king people, we are uplifting the network Lared. They provide life-saving hotline and advocacy work that helps keep us physically safe. I've linked their donation page below, and if this content has served you, I invite you to support them. Now, let's put this into practice. Identify one small, safe way to connect with your own desire. This could be buying a lotion that you love, wearing an outfit that makes you feel damn good, or just asking, what do I want? Not and letting that question land. This is the ultimate self-honoring act, choosing your desire. Your final action is to find one small way to honor what you want. Leave your final safe share in the comments to complete your entry for the Gifted by FreeFrom giveaway. This is the last step. Leave your final safe share in the comments to complete your entry for the Gifted by FreeFrom giveaway. Remember, you must have commented on all 4 videos in this challenge by December 31st to be entered to win. Your safe share can be a full thought. It could be a single word like desire, a single emoji that expresses how you're feeling, like a little smile or a heart or a butterfly. And just know that every comment is a valid, powerful way to say, I'm here and I'm doing the work. Okay? This conversation is the perfect setup for dating after the two-person cult series coming in 2026. Make sure that you're subscribed. You won't want to miss this. I promise you that. Thank you so much for doing this hard, honoring work with me. Toodaloo.